Hello everybody, welcome to another video. I'm excited to have you all back, and I'm very excited for today's topic. Part of the reason for that is because it's pertinent in my life right now. And that topic is finding ways to channel our anger. So let's dive right into this. Let's not dilly-dally too much. The first point I want to bring up about channeling our anger is it's important not to ignore anger or to bottle it down and just internalize it and not have any outlet for that anger. We've seen in the news recently the effects of constant internalization or welling up anger inside of yourselves. I'm talking about shootings. I'm talking about violence. I'm talking about general dissatisfaction with life. Does it not seem, and I'm not trying to sound like a negative Nelly here, but does it not seem as though there's like a upward trend in dissatisfaction and anger in our lives? Now, there's multiple reasons. That could be for another video, another topic of discussion. What I'm trying to share is more today than, I'm not going to say ever before, but times past that I can remember, finding ways to channel our anger is extremely important. So by avoiding internalizing our anger, that must mean that we have to find a way to take that raw negative emotion and do something with it. Well, yes, that is exactly what that means. And I'm here to share some ways in which we can do that. With that being said, though, before I dive into those ways, acting in a manner that is violent, that is aggressive, to eradicate our anger, short term, yes, is effective. It causes us to lose a lot of those negative feelings, to get over those. But at what cost? The cost is backward progress. Let me tell you a story really quick that my parents shared with me. They told me when I was a little boy, Chase, never punch a wall. Just don't do it. Out of anger, never punch a wall. They had a family friend who, in a fit of anger, punched a wall similar to this one with a closed fist. And what happened, as you might imagine, is his knuckles were skinned and his wrist was broken. So let's think about the outcome there for a second. What happened as a result of that? He spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars at the ER getting his hand and wrist repaired, almost said replaced, repaired, as well as time. And that caused him to take a step back in his progress. Think about it. He lost financial assets, time assets, when he could have found ways to redirect that anger. So although it might seem shiny, might seem like a cookie in the cookie jar to act violently, aggressively, in the moment, it's almost never long term the best way of dealing with those emotions. It also causes something extremely important to go back in terms of progress as well, and that is your respect for yourself. And your self-respect is more important than your respect for other people. Because again, as the cliche saying goes, if you're not working on yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not being the best you probably, definitely actually, are not going to be that for other people. Let me give you another hypothetical. Let's say you're driving along the road and somebody cuts in front of you. The visceral reaction might be to stick up your middle finger, to raise your hands, to yell, to cuss. But how many of us have done that in the moment and then later regretted, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have stooped to his or her level, meaning the person who cut you off or did something to make you upset. That hurts. That regret later down the line or that disappointment that you have in yourself should be enough to stop you next time you're feeling like acting in a rash manner from acting in a rash manner. So, a couple of ways to redirect that negative energy, that anger, that raw negative emotion towards more productive means. A couple things I wrote down that come to mind are career, finances, fitness, platonic and non-platonic relationships. The last one I wrote down is hobbies, although there are a lot more, right? So if we, instead of flipping that person back off that cut us off on the road, and would have used that negative emotion and would have used it as a catalyst to go wash our dirty car, because we realize we have to wash our car, and now we feel this external drive to go get things done. Let's think about it like this. That person gave you a gift, and they gave it to you for free. That's a weird way of thinking about it, but they got you upset enough that you then, if you're redirecting the negative anger that you have in a healthy way, went and washed your car and got something done. That's super, super hard to do. That's very hard to do. But with enough years of this practice, you can get to that conclusion. Again, the goal should never be to try to be perfect or flawless. It's not attainable and it's not realistic. However, the more we practice this, the better we can get. And it's not about perfection. It's not about having a perfect life. That would be boring. The goal is to see progress because that can lead to happiness. So, without droning on too much, let's move on here. Kind of what I just touched on, anger is one of the best external or extrinsic fuels. The problem with it, though, is that it doesn't have the long-term effect as internal or intrinsic motivation. A couple examples of internal or intrinsic motivation could be something like curiosity, being genuinely curious, feeling that desire well up in yourself to go figure something out. Curiosity is one of the best and sustainable motivators, and anger is not. However, anger's utility lies in the fact that it can lead to intrinsic motivation. Another example, a lot of us start going to work out in some capacity because we want to look like somebody. I always discourage that because that can lead to body dysmorphia and other problems. Let's just say, though, for argument's sake, we want to look better than we were. So we go and start doing that, and then we see the benefits that this habit has. And then that habit becomes a part of our lifestyle. It becomes intrinsic because we realize it helps us be better, be our best. And so the goal shouldn't be to use anger to motivate you for everything, but on the same vein, it should be used in a manner that can help you further yourself. The potential for it to further yourself is there. So many of us flip it on its head and use it in a manner that takes us back. A step or steps. The more that you redirect negative emotions, anger, the less power you let it have over you. And the less power you let it have over you, the more you'll respect yourself, as we talked about, the more others will respect you. And so that's killing two birds with one stone. Again, the most important relationship we have is with ourselves. But if we can also get other people to be like, wow, you didn't flip that person off for cutting you off. You didn't even cuss them out. You're upset and you're expressing that you're upset, right? Because we're not bottling up those negative emotions. But we then go home and hit the heavy bag, or we go to the gym, or we go wash our car. I love that example. That's causing us to go forward and not backwards. And we're letting it have less power over us. And we're having more admiration and respect for ourselves and from other people. Holy smokes, everybody. It's so hard not to react to those crazy, mad emotions that we have. But when we gain better control over it, there's so many fruits that lie on the other side of that. So, excitement and fear are, it's not excitement and fear. Excitement and fear are similar emotions, but excitement and anger are also similar emotions. Let's think about it from a physiological or a physical point of view. What happens when we're angry? Our blood pressure goes up. Our face might flush. We might start breathing faster, start sweating more, getting sweaty palms, whatever. But what happens with excitement? All those same things. The difference is how we see it mentally. Anger is seen through a negative lens, and excitement is generally seen through a positive lens. So if we can, again, going back, see that opportunity where someone made us angry as potential to get excited, like that person gave me free fuel to go do something. Free fuel. I can use this to get what I need to get done. That's exciting right there. That's turning that negative view into a positive one. Again, super hard to do. Super hard to do. But the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And the more uncomfortable situations you put yourself in, that'll just exponentiate that increase in mastery of your emotions. Lastly, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I didn't go into depth. Well, so what are some lifestyle habits we can practice to become not bulletproof with feeling raw anger, but bullet resistant to feeling anger? Sleep, diet, exercise, meditation. Again, meditation is something I've touched on, I think, in every video, and I'll need to make a separate video on it. But meditation doesn't have to be like being a yogi and sitting with your legs crossed and saying Om with your eyes closed. It can be something like thinking about your day. What were highs? What were lows of the day? What can you learn and take away from the day? That's a form of meditation right there. That's huge. Being around good people as well can really help you to become better at dealing with anger as a whole. And who you surround yourself with, as cliche as it might sound, the company you keep says a lot about you. It all comes back to you at the end of the day. Again, as selfish as it sounds, it's a form of selflessness to be there, to be the best in your day-to-day relationships. We got to be the best here first. It always starts from the bottom. The foundation always is yourself, and we should never neglect the foundation or the fundamentals. I hope you found this video interesting, insightful. What I'm talking about is not easy. It's tough. But, man, if we can turn, if we can redirect, if we can rechannel when we feel super upset into doing things that we might not want to have done earlier and get them done, W right there. That was a bad W, but win. That's a win. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know future video suggestions that you might have. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know that this lighting is terrible. I get it. It really is. Look, it just turned better now that I've been moving my hand. Anyways, thanks everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your day.